Hey guys, it's Tony with Wood Tramp Outdoors. I've been asked, how do you prep an axe that's brand new to take it out into the woods? Hang tight, I'll show you what I do. Alright guys, welcome back. I can't even tell you who asked that question, but it's a good question nonetheless, because axes, no matter how good they are, Holzbruch, it doesn't matter. This one comes from Fox Knives, Italy. It came out of a battle box, mission number 118. But every axe needs a little bit of TLC if you're going to be taking it out. You want to try to make it multi-purpose also. So let's just kind of talk about this real quick here. This comes with this leather lanyard attached to it already, but I'm taking that off so I can have better access. Alright, and then this sheath is something that I am going to modify, because I don't care for the way this is. I am not going to carry this ever on a belt. And the truth matter, we'll probably end up giving this axe away to somebody. But I'm going to modify the sheath, to where it's more woodsy friendly. But here's what you have. When you buy an axe from any company, it's going to have some type of finish on the wood. This happens to be a very rustic type feel to it. It's a decent axe, that's for sure, but it does need work. And so let me show you what tools that I'm going to tell you need to do the way I do it. Okay. First thing you're going to need is some sandpaper. This is it's 320, but it's a little more rugged. It's a no-feel Adelox. If that means anything to you. I'm a master finisher by trade. Oh yeah, already it's feeling really good. So you got to have sandpaper. You've got to have some type of cutting tool that will allow you to make inch marks in this, so you can use it, make it multi-purpose. Use it as a ruler if you need one out in the bush. I use these palm chisels, but I've also used Dremel tools. Dremels make work a lot easier, but you don't have to, is what I'm getting at. You can use anything. If you've got a saw blade on your knife, you can draw that back and forth, as long as you know how to soften those reliefs up. You're going to need a tape measure. You're going to need a magic marker. You're going to need a piece of leather. And I'll show you how I process that. You're going to need some 36 bank line to be able to do that, and of course a lighter. So let me show you this, how we do this. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is put some inch marks in this dude. And I'm going to start from the bottom of the handle. You just take, what I do is I take these palm chisels and I just start digging away there. Just pointed out to be that not everybody's going to have these palm chisels. Okay, so almost everybody has access to some type of knife. This happens to be the SAR or Swiss Army knife. This is the Ranger, and the reason that I like this is because it has a bad to the bone saw. Right? So Let's just go back to this here, and all I'm going to do is draw this across nice and even, lightly. And again, it's just kind of a reference. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're out in the woods. All right. I'll put this dude away. It is sharp. If you're looking for a bushcrafting type folder, this is my favorite right here. Okay, so now all we're going to do is soften what we just did here. That's all we're doing. This takes off the funky finish that comes from the factory. Okay, so you can see those marks on both, every 1 inch. Now, what I do from here is I just take this that it's going to stay down in there. And next thing I do is I just sand off whatever excess might be there. Then the next thing I do is I put the treatment of my choice on here. This is bush butter. This is what we sell. Made this forever, for years. My family has made this forever. When my family arrived here in 1736, bear tallow, beaver tallow, whatever tallow they could get their hands on was the main ingredient. And it worked well. But in the summertime, because of the fat and the proteins, it would grow rancid. Alright, so what you do is you just get this heated up with your fingers, and then you start working it into the axe handle. And I'll do some of it, then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we have applied our protected coating on there, and for us it's bush butter. You can use whatever you want, whatever your favorite is. This just happens to be our favorite because we make it and we know it for centuries. It has done this job. I did mention that my family used different tallows, and worked great till the summertime. Next thing you know, you got maggots. Okay, so I'm just putting a little on this axe head because of the fact that my hands are full of acids and fats that reacts to the steel and cause it to rust, so I'm just putting it on there for now. That's what it looks like. Now what I'll do is I will set this off to the side and let it dry once I get ready to do the next step, which is to put my leather protector here. Okay. Now the way that I have to do that is that I'm going to put a string around this to kind of measure it, so I know how long the leather has to be. Okay, and it's about right there. And you'll stretch it, so you don't want it to be perfect. You want it to be about 1/4 of an inch shy. Alright, then I measure it. tape measure, or you can measure it here on your axe if you're out in the woods. And that to me is about 5 inches. I'm going to get the leather. This is a big piece of leather I have here, and I'll cut off 5 inches here, then I'll square it up. Doesn't have to be perfect again, just needs to be there to be able to protect. So I'll be right back with that. Alright, so I went out to the shop and I cut this to size a little bit better, and in doing so I actually cut more off than I intended to, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it just goes to show you, you know, stuff happens out in the woods. I'm not in the woods, but you know, what do? Do you give up at that point? But you can see where I cut it just a little bit shorter than what I had intended, which it doesn't affect what the purpose of this is for. Because I have seen guys just stop their leather right here and wrap the rest of it with bank line. Alright, so now that I've got it to the size that I'm going to use and I'm committed to, then what I have to do is just kind of fit it to where it's going to sit and just eyeball the first holes that I have to make. And let's see here, if I get this here and then I get this up here, yeah, okay. So then I will just take a marker and I will put one hole in it, or one spot, and you want to make sure you're far enough off the edge that when you start pulling, you're not going to rip through the leather, right? Okay, this goes here like so, and then this is going to go here like so. And again, we're not building Steinway pianos. You don't have to be absolutely dead nuts on. Okay, so now, if you have the advantage of having some leather tools to your disposal, you know, your job will be easier. Not necessary. You can use it all. You can use whatever you want with this. Here, this is an awl right here that I'll probably use, but this is a tool that helps you to mark where you want your holes to be and keeps them consistent. Now we're talking about the awl. You know, I've got this awl right here, and I can just push this through like so. You can see it going through there, right? If you are at home and you have a shop at home, what you can do is take a cordless drill with the appropriate size bit and make your life a lot easier. Now, these particular settings on this particular tool, let me see, is this one any smaller, bigger? No, they're the same. So I've got a choice here. I can do every one of these holes like I put in with this tool, or I can go every other hole because I don't really need all that. Then I'll fill that with bush butter. As a matter of fact, that'll be to the inside. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because it doesn't need to be sewed up so tight like you're doing a suture on a wound. So I'm going to do every other one of these, and you'll see that it still works. All right, before continuing, I wanted to show you that once you have everything laid out the way you want to, you have to introduce the bank line to your protector here. And the way you do it is that you go through the opposite end that you want showing. So I want the suede side of the leather, which is just unfinished, unsanded, anything like that. A little rougher, you know, can handle a little more dings. And I come through and then you crisscross that, right? You go to the next hole from the opposite side. So from here, you go down to here, from here you go down to here. And once you have that into place, then you can introduce this to your axe, right? And you can start tightening it up as you go. Center it up. Like so. Alright, when I come back I'll have this all done for you. Yeah, I got called away. So we're going to finish this up this morning. So this is where we're at so far. Damn. Just cut that finger. And I did cut that finger. Yeah, better be careful. So we've got this laced up. Now, if you have to use a toggle to tighten it up, then you do that. But you want it as tight as you can get it, because as you use this axe, this will loosen up, and you just have to keep tightening until it just stops. Right? That's all we're doing right here. All right, there it is for you there. It's all laced up. Just put a double stop knot in it, and then I fused the bank line just by heating it up and pressing it down, you know. But this will keep your axe protected if you happen to miss, you know, and everybody does it along the way. So now, earlier we put on the bush butter, and I'll be honest with you, that was yesterday. And what you do is once it's dried, I want you to see this. It's kind of dull right now, which isn't bad. It's okay. But if you want a nice luster, then this is what you do here. You just buff it out. What I will do here also is that because this is a rough suede, I'm going to go ahead and put bush butter on this also, just to help protect it. Although this is a tarred bank line, I'll go ahead and put bush butter on the bank line as well. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on this sheath. As I said, you know, it's designed to, one of the options is to be able to hang it on your belt. I would never hang an axe on my belt doing what I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this magic marker and I am going to draw a line from here up to here. Just kind of continue this profile right here. And I'm going to cut that off. Should be perfect. There it is. Yeah, that's all I need for it to be. Yeah, now, so what I will also do here is I will treat this. Love it. There it is. Get your inch markings on there. You can't really fill them because we sanded them down. And again, if you do this, make sure you take your sandpaper, whatever I did with it, right here, and fold it up and go inside that groove to knock down those edges. Don't give it any opportunity to swell up. And the way that would happen is if you did not put anything, no treatment on this, and the first time it gets wet, wood is like a sponge and it's just going to swell up. But yeah, I think this is good to go. So there you go. Thanks for the question. Thanks for watching. You guys be safe out there.